Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Tales from Tech Support, where we get to have a little chuckle at the technologically disadvantaged. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. Internet and phones are down, but not sure why. I work for a small MSP in a medium-sized city in the southeast. We do mainly medical and legal practices, but also donate our services to a few nonprofit organizations as well. Usually these nonprofits are pretty self-sufficient and hardly put in tickets for problems. But today was not one of those days. Today one of our nonprofit clients called in a ticket, saying their phones, VoIP, and internet have gone down and they're not sure why. A quick call to the ISP told me that their modem must be turned off, as there are no area outages and their neighbors still had modems online. So I pack up and head on site. When I arrived, I walked through the building and took a look at the server closet. Nothing looks out of order and the modem is on and running. One of the workers comes to the closet and says they think they know the issue. I follow the worker outside where the gentleman states that there was an old phone line running from the building that was draped on the ground going to the phone pole outside. There was a storm last night that probably broke the coiled excess cable and dropped it to the ground. He said, "It was in the way, so I went ahead and just cut it." The cable runs about 30 feet from the pole to the building, and this guy decided to cut it at the building and at the pole and throw the excess away. The best part is, the guy who cut the line was very pointedly telling me that downtime for this was just unacceptable, and I needed to get the cable and splice the piece to both ends and restore the connection, which I didn't have the tools to do as we oftentimes outsource our cabling. Luckily, the on-site manager over him used to work at our company, and she told him they would pay the ISP to take care of it. Gotta love when some people are either just arrogant enough, or maybe just demented enough to cause a problem and then assume that it's your responsibility to fix what they screwed up. New guy learns our most basic rule. Evening, family. I have a tale to tell. This literally just happened. The cast, me, the new guy, my young cousin, and the user, hapless as the day is long. I don't work tech support anymore. Gave up that life. I teach now. New problems, but you never forget those tech support lessons. Today, my young cousin learned our most basic rule. I get a call from him around 7:30 p.m. New guy. "Hey, good old Beej, I've been working on this for a couple hours. Can you help me fix it?" Me. "Yeah, sure. Tell me your problem." I say with great reluctance on the inside. Phone tech support is the worst. New guy. "Oh, no, I mean, can you come out here? User can't get her monitors to work and she promised her boss she'd be able to log in tomorrow." It's a 45-minute drive to that side of town, plus fix-it time, plus the drive back on a school night. I'm seething inside. All of a sudden, this is my problem? Me. "No, not really possible. How about you explain what's going on? Maybe FaceTime?" New guy. "Understandable." God bless him. She has 2 monitors hooked up to her laptop, but it roots through this box. I'm worried now. Some cracked setup I've never put eyes on before. Splitter, maybe? Need to start with the basics. "Okay, cousin, I'm gonna send you a Zoom link so I can see the problem." Cue a few minutes of logging in, sending a Zoom link, highs and hellos. Me. "Okay, what kind of cable is coming out of the laptop?" New guy. "USB-C, like my phone uses to charge." Internally, I'm dying inside. That box has me worried. Taking the sub output via special software? We're so boned. Me. "And that goes into the box?" New guy. "Yup, I think it powers it." More internal, but now confused screaming. Me. "Okay, let's take a look at the box. What's the input labeled as? And also potential outputs? Let's get an idea of what this thing is doing." New guy. "Okay, it's a Dell, made in China." Bless his heart being so detailed. "Here's the back. USB, Ethernet, power? Power? Wait, what? Internal screaming has turned to laughter. New guy. Wait, user, you said this was powered from your computer? Where's the power cable? I kid you not, this was her response. Oh, you mean this? New guy in the purest form of relieved exasperation. Yes, I mean that! 1 minute later, everything is working. Before I end the call, I get his attention. Me. New guy, that was fun. I know you're a little frustrated right now, but today you learned our most important lesson. And user, please don't take this the wrong way, but new guy, as always, verify the basics yourself. Never ever trust the user. User, to her credit, nods and says, oh yeah, no, he's right. Like one of my favorite heroes, Gregory House always says, people lie and make mistakes. Also, my granddaughter is single. We had a customer, a very nice older lady who owned cottages on Prince Edward Island. I was working with her on some customizations and setup of the software, so I got to know her pretty well. I eventually ended up being her primary contact when she called. One afternoon, she asked if I'm married, and at the time I wasn't, and told her so. She then tells me that I should come visit since I've been doing so much work for her. She starts telling me how she's been considering turning the business over to her granddaughter, and that her only concern is that her granddaughter is single and she needs a man to help her with the cottages. Well, that's odd information to offer the tech guy. This type of thing becomes more regular, where she'd offer personal details about her plans and such. Then one day she tells me they got a website and wanted me to check it out. At this time, not everyone had a website, so it was pretty neat. I took a look. She asked me if I noticed the pretty young lady in a lot of the pictures, and tells me that this is her granddaughter. She makes sure I know it's her single granddaughter. Single. She tells me there aren't any really good guys left on Prince Edward Island and gets straight to the point and asks me if I'd consider moving to a place like Prince Edward Island if I knew a girl was waiting for me there. Don't get me wrong, this girl was really pretty, and the small cottages they owned were beautiful. But this was starting to sound like a mail-order husband type thing. I laughed it off and we got to work with software configuration on some of the customization she wanted. But in my mind, I started thinking about it. This is a really pretty girl, and the business seems to be successful because she's paying for custom work. My mind starts telling me that this might be a pretty nice life. But then my brain tells me to think of reality. I've never spoken to this girl, and does she even know her grandmother is trying to import some guy from 2,000 miles away to move in and marry her? It starts to creep me out a little, and the next time I speak with the grandmother, she asks me again. I tell her I'm flattered, but not ready to move or get married anytime soon. She tells me she's disappointed but understands, and that if I change my mind, she'll be happy to make arrangements. I just checked Google, and these cottages are either no longer in business or changed the name. I wonder if the granddaughter ever found a man. Whoa. Grandma pimping out the granddaughter. I know some grandmothers in their cute little old lady way like to make sure that their granddaughters are taken care of and things like that, but were arranged marriages really that much of a thing back in the day? I feel like maybe there should have been a dowry involved, some chickens and goats and maybe gold coins. Reliable backup systems are for weak mortals, apparently. So, some fairly important backups were stuck on a way too old server in our server room. The guy in charge is a coworker at some faraway location and more of a software kind of guy, less the operating system guy. Yet, what I thought was sort of a tech literate. Anyway, the Windows operating system on that machine failed and refused all efforts to boot. Recovery, rescue, whatever. All I managed was data access using a live boot disk that I booted into the RAM, since I needed the USB stick somewhere else. Found out most drives showed heavy RW error rates. Almost toast. So I set up an SFTP, got him access, and told him to urgently get his backups off this machine, as most disks in there are almost done for. 2 months later, I get a phone call. Me. So is that server ready to be scrapped? Him. Oh, not yet. The server just needs to hold up until the end of the next year, just in case I need those backups. Then it can be scrapped. Just wait until then. Me. You do know that you rely on a way too old machine with broken hard drives as your backup storage solution, running a rescue operating system in memory for access, right? And that I told you 2 months ago to urgently get those backups off that server like years before. Him. Getting that much storage somewhere else sounded like a lot of effort, so I just left it like that. My eyes are twitching at this point. How much data are we even talking about? Him. About a terabyte. I don't even. In the end, I just plugged a USB drive into it to transfer the backups into our regular backup system. Dude, I don't know how old this story is, but I've had 1 terabyte drives for years. I mean, it's not complicated. It's not even expensive. You plug the stupid thing in, transfer your files, and you're done. Or copy them over or whatever. Listen, I'm a lazy guy. I'm a real lazy guy. But even I could do this. Incompetent security? Another story. Recently, our parent company demanded we clean up admin rights in our environment. We had about 150 users who had been added to the local admin group on their PC. Some because no one wanted to figure out what in their workflow needed admin rights and try and fix it. And others were temporary but never removed. Once the demand was made, parent company retreated back to their tower, leaving us alone. And thus, one day soon after our security team decreed, no longer will any user be allowed to be added to the local admin group on a PC. Every account that needs admin access must be in a security group. We will configure a GPO to rip out all entries from the local admin group and add what we choose. Will there be any way to give a user admin rights? People asked. What about even temporarily? No user accounts allowed in the local admin group. Security said if someone needs admin rights temporarily, we've created the security group Temporary Admins that we can add them to. That group will be added to the local admin group on all PCs. But, many people replied, that gives the user admin rights to all PCs, not just theirs. That seems worse than just giving them admin rights on their PC. No worry, security will approve or deny all requests for admin rights. We will be all-knowing and keep the list in check and prevent abuse. And how long will users be allowed to stay in the group, we asked. We expect the users to let us know when they no longer need admin rights, security replied. If you've read any of my recent stories, you know our security team is not the best, so this process was implemented, and security received all requests for PC admin rights. And then one of the biggest flaws of our security team revealed itself. They don't question anything. They get asked to do something, they do it. There were definitely times they granted admin access when stopping to question the ticket would have revealed other ways to get user access to what they need. One is TFTS worthy for sure. Time passed. All seemed to be going well. Then last week the skies darkened. We are following up on our directive, a voice boomed from our parent company. How many users are currently in the temporary admin group? 197, security whispered. What? The voice boomed again. How are there that many? That's more than you started with. We were expecting users to let us know when they no longer needed admin rights, squeaked security. This is what you came up with? We need to have a discussion with you, the voice trailed off. We now wait to see what the next process will be, most likely coming from our parent company directly this time. Whoops. I think there needs to be policies put in place for security before you have security implement policies for admin rights. That was r/Tales from Tech Support. If you've enjoyed these stories, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up, click on subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss the fat guy with the beard telling you stories. Check out a couple of these videos here. I think you'll like them too. See ya.